This is a Eurgeen, or however you pronounce it, dehumidifier from 2020. This thing got used in 2020 and then 2021. Didn't get much use in 22 or 23. And I want to see if it still works, because it seems like 99% of the dehumidifiers made nowadays are junk within a year. But this one has already made it more than that, so I would like to see if it worked. And the last time I tested it, which was earlier this year, I wasn't sure if the compressor started or not, so we'll actually be able to verify that this time, because I'll be plugging it into my kilowatt meter and we'll see the amp draw. So this one actually uses R134A refrigerant, just like that Waycar 25 pint dehumidifier right there. And that one, that Waycar has a reciprocating compressor in it, which is very interesting. Got that a few months ago, and it's still running just fine. As you can see, it's draining, and I have it on constantly. It's always pulling humidity out of the air. It's very quiet. And we'll take a look at the information on this one. Okay, there's the model number. It's rated at 50 pints a day at 86 degrees Fahrenheit and 80% relative humidity, and then 30 pints a day at 80 degrees Fahrenheit and 60% relative humidity. 365 watts, 3.3 amps, so it does use more power than that one does. That one has an extremely low power draw. And R134A refrigerant. Now this one is pretty unique. It's got a bucket right here, which it's kind of hard to get out for some reason. And here we got the hose coming out of it. There is an extension for this somewhere. I don't know where it is right now, though. And as you can see, I took the back cover off. This thing actually has 3 filters, one on each side, and then one right here that goes on the back. And they're all dirty. I'm going to clean them all, but this thing is pretty interesting. Yeah, that's horrible looking. The coil wraps around the sides of the unit. And there's another filter over here. So I'm going to wash both of these, or all 3 of them. And doesn't look like the evaporator's too dirty or anything, so that's good. I'll have to vacuum out these holes too. Alright, washed off all the filters. They're nice and clean now. Vacuumed off the dusty grills. So I'm going to put the filters back in and I'll run this thing. And when the bucket's in place, there's a little hole right there for the hose to come out of. Alright, it's plugged in. No current draw with it off, which is surprising since that display is on. Alright, let's turn it on. Power button's right there. And the compressor did just start. It's very quiet. That's what we're pulling right now. And there is refrigerant going through those lines, so that's good. Let's try turning it on high. So yeah, this one is nice and quiet. I think this one has a rotary compressor, but I'm still not exactly sure. Right now it's set on continuous run. So it's 2.45 on high and then 2.39 on low. There's a purify function, which is probably just an ion generator. If you hold the humidity setting button, it goes to temperature. and it's in Celsius. I don't think there is a Fahrenheit scale on this. To change the humidity setting, you use this button right here. It was on continuous. Now we can go through all the different settings. Minimum is 40% humidity, and it goes up to 80%, and then you go to that setting to get it on continuous. As you can see, the continuous light is on now. Now, one thing that's kind of interesting, it seems like these lesser known brand names tend to actually be better when it comes to dehumidifiers. Like, this one still works just fine. I mean, it's obviously it's not that old yet, but it's still working, and those Waycar units seem to be pretty good based on what I've heard, so that's interesting. And this is where our amp draw has leveled off at on high speed. Just bounces back and forth between 2.63 and 2.61. 247 watts. Try low one more time. And we're now at 2.56, 2.57 amps, 244 watts. Alright, let's let it run and start dripping. Well, I would say this dehumidifier is working quite well. As you can see, it is dripping a lot of water. So this one is still good. I'm going to move it to a different location. Or no, I'm actually going to keep it over here, and I'm just going to take that hose off of it so it fills up the bucket. It's running on low. It's at 2.56 amps. And this thing has been running for several hours now. Let's turn it on high real quick. And that's what it goes up to on high.